Do you know that Humble Pie's thrilling shows and timeless songs hit a storm? The pioneering hard rock and blues band was a talent and stress pot. The two main characters were Peter Frampton, the golden boy with a talent for melody and technical accuracy, and Steve Marriott, the fiery, charismatic frontman who lived and breathed raw energy. Their union produced some of the 1970s most memorable music, but it was also marked by ego clashes, artistic differences, and bitterness that eventually drove them apart. Peter Frampton discusses Humble Pie's turbulent years today. He reveals his passionate relationship with Marriott I, which alternated between admiration and conflict. The band broke up due to emotional conflicts that shaped the music in their relationship. The band's emotional turmoil was as powerful as their music, as Frampton's admissions show. Picture the late 1960s British music scene, full of invention. As the main vocalist and guitarist of the Small Faces, a mod band with soulful lyrics, Steve Marriott was well known. Marriott's smoky, untamed voice could light up any stage, but he wanted something bigger and grittier. The herd took notice of young, gifted guitarist Peter Frampton. Marriott wasn't slick, calculated, or patient like Frampton. The 1969 Humble Pie partnership was electric. Marriott's wild energy and Frampton's accuracy created an explosive, intricate sound. At first, their contrasts looked complementary. Marriott brought fire, Frampton finesse. As the band's star rose, their relationship began to disintegrate. Humble Pie's early folk, rock, and blues, albums Town and Country and As Safe as Yesterday Is, showed their flexibility. But Marriott, ever restless, wanted to make the band heavier. He envisioned Humble Pie as a hard rock powerhouse. Frampton, a Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple competitor, was apprehensive. He favored melody and subtlety, and was concerned Marriott's obsession with volume and intensity would dominate the band's music. These creative contrasts signaled disaster. Their studio arguments often escalated. Marriott, a temperful man, would demand something while Frampton resisted quietly. The anxiety affected their live performances. Marriott's larger-than-life stage persona enthralled spectators, while Frampton struggled to find his place. Frampton felt neglected, as Marriott's dominance overshadowed his contributions. Frampton and Marriott's animosity peaked in 1971. Humble Pie's Rock On and performance Rockin' the Fillmore, which showcased Marriott's intensity and raw strength, were commercial hits. Frampton grew increasingly estranged behind the scenes. Marriott's insistence on heavier, louder music limited Frampton's melodic sensitivities. The gap occurred during smoke and recording. Marriott ruled the studio, and Frampton felt stifled creatively. They were in conflict, and their once collaborative collaboration had become a power battle. Frampton left Humble Pie reluctantly, feeling unappreciated and creatively limited. His departure changed the band. Marriott could take Humble Pie in the direction he always wanted, but Frampton's art was irreplaceable. Steve Marriott was unstoppable and unapologetic. Despite driving his talent, his fire burned others. Frampton wasn't alone in the heat. Marriott's aggressive temper caused difficulty throughout his career, resulting in strained relationships and unresolved problems. While pushing his music to new heights, his zeal created a poisonous, stressful, and inspiring milieu. Marriott's confrontationality was his best advantage and greatest problem in Humble Pie. He wanted perfection, pushing his bandmates to their limits. Some saw this as an exciting opportunity to create something special, but others saw it as suffocation. Marriott's perfectionism left little space for error or disagreement, and those who couldn't keep up with his unrelenting pace were routinely sidelined or yelled at. Marriott's loud voice often drowned out compromises during rehearsals. His ambition drove the band to execute amazing performances, but it often strained relationships, making collaboration feel like combat. Marriott's problems went beyond the band. His battles with industry bosses were legendary, demonstrating his refusal to conform. His insistence on his artistic vision was wonderful, but it made him difficult in an industry that values teamwork and surrender. Marriott regularly walked out of record label meetings because he felt inhibited creatively. His volatility deterred executives who saw him as a moneymaker, and many were hesitant to invest in him. Even as the industry sought to adjust to Marriott's massive image, chaos ensued. Marriott's insistence on doing things his way caused album deadlines and promotional possibilities to fail. His drive for honesty often stifled progress, leaving prospective allies frustrated and disillusioned. Marriott was willing to fight alone for creative freedom. Marriott remained aggressive in his following partnerships after Humble Pie divided. It was uncomfortably familiar. Excitement at working with a legend, then tension, when his intensity became too much. Marriott had a history of heated confrontations and sudden breakups with other musicians. His magnetic nature hindered his ability to form lasting alliances. Musicians who entered his orbit seeking to share his genius were often overwhelmed by his overbearing presence, repressed by the guy who inspired them. These conflicts went beyond music. Marriott's personal life was full with fights and outbursts. His passion made him a great performance, but a difficult friend, colleague, and collaborator. His fans often struggled to negotiate his highs and lows as he lived life at full blast. Marriott paid dearly for his passion emotionally and professionally. His intransigence created a legacy of revolutionary music, broken relationships, and squandered opportunities. Though undisputed, his talent is inexorably linked to his life's turmoil. Marriott dedicated his life to his work, often at the expense of others. It reminds us that talent is awe-inspiring, but also isolating, elevating, and destroying. Between Peter Frampton and Steve Marriott, harmony and discord collided, fostering brilliance. They created breakthrough and unforgettable music from their differences. Frampton's careful accuracy and Marriott's uncontrolled passion made them a wonderful combo, but they were incompatible. They were a creative storm apart. They were artists with distinct yet fascinating stories. Frampton thrived after Humble Pie. Frampton became a global phenomenon overnight with Frampton Comes Alive in 1976. He connected with listeners by his melodic sensibility and technical mastery, making the live CD a cultural milestone. However, Frampton's fame presented obstacles. While his accomplishments were recognized, his departure from Humble Pie raised questions about what he and Marriott could have accomplished together. Frampton's polished art gleamed brighter than ever, yet it always had the shadow of what may have been. Marriott, however, went another route. Humble Pie really embraced Marriott's gritty, hard-hitting rock after Frampton's departure. Marriott's raw intensity on albums like Smokin' earned the band a loyal fan base. Though the music was powerful and honest, leadership and creative control weighed on him. Marriott never had the solo success of Frampton, and his desire often separated him. His career was a series of near comebacks and squandered opportunities, with flashes of brilliance marred by personal troubles. Their narrative illustrates the delicate balance between cooperation and conflict. The same passion for music and ambition that brought them together tore them apart. Frampton's meticulous approach and Marriott's ferocity made a tumultuous but wonderful combination. They brought out the best in each other musically, but their personalities clashed like waves, causing a permanent divide. Frampton and Marriott's legacy shows creative tension's strength. Their conflict and contrast music holds audiences, a bittersweet reminder of what happens when creativity meets catastrophe. Marriott's 30 Days in the Hole and Shine illustrates his vitality, while Frampton Showmain the Way shows his musical brilliance. Each work showcases its strengths, but together they tell a complex story of ambition, artistry, and sorrow. The music hides a story of ambition, tenacity, heartache, and unrealized potential. Frampton's successes and Marriott's troubles show two performers who shaped rock history despite their differences. Their trip was about the human cost of chasing artists see truth at all costs, not simply music. Their legacy inspires and resonates, showing that even the most difficult unions can create something lasting. Peter Frampton and Steve Marriott's legacy is about their perseverance as much as their accomplishments. Their remarkable blend of melody, chaos, precision, and passion continues on. It captures their brilliance and hardships, showing how two people were stronger together and apart. This magnificent, heartbreaking legacy shows the power of art developed from strife and the relentless quest for greatness.